Hi BookTube! I'm here today to talk about why I don't trust book awards. With book award season being upon us now and everyone diving into reading these books, I thought this was a perfect time to talk about all the problems I have with book awards. So, first of all, there's a lot of shady business going on in regards to some of the larger book awards. I'm just going to mention in passing the sexual assault issues that are plaguing the Nobel Literary Prize panel right now, to the point that it has been decided that the award will not be given out this year. But there is a history of authors, even authors who have won major book awards, complaining about the selection process and the judges. A recent issue that has called into question the validity of the Man Booker process has been called out by one of our own, a booktuber, Britta. I'm going to read this quote from her Twitter about the Man Booker. Anybody else find it fishy that a prominent crime author who happens to sit on a book prize panel has promoted another author for years, and now this author's new book is longlisted? No, I guess it's just me. She's also been tweeting every day calling for transparency in the selection process for the long list of the Man Booker Prize. Another aspect of judges has been called into question in regards to Canada's biggest literary prize, the Scotiabank Giller Prize. Stephen Hennigan, an author, has accused the judges of the Giller of being a cozy jury of longtime familiars. And if you look at the judge selection, then you can see that it does perpetuate a circle jerk of certain writing circles, certain publishers, and certain authors and their friends. Because winners of the prize work as judges and are likely to keep the prize with the authors and publishers in a similar style, which actually results in a lack of diversity. Another way the judging of book prizes is questionable involves politics. So, for example, we know about the whole sad rabid puppies debacle at the Hugo Awards, which tried to create a voting bloc and eventually became a platform for extremist right-wing factions to protest how liberally progressive a science fiction award was, which is a whole other issue because, I mean, science fiction is very liberal, just by virtue of the genre it is. Then there are other examples, such as Ursula K. Le Guin refusing her Nebula Award because they deprived Stanislav Lem from membership in awards because he was from a Soviet country, and this was during the Cold War. And these are just the instances we know of. Who knows who else may receive an award or not receive an award because of political or personal issues judges have with the authors. Then you also have authors who create disdain for genre works because they believe the big awards don't give prizes to genre fiction. Authors like Margaret Atwood, who won't let their works be labeled science fiction or fantasy because they believe it would remove their books from contention for certain awards. This calls into question whether where a book is shelved in the store would stop it from winning a non-genre-centric award, despite being maybe just as well written as a literary fiction novel. There's yet another bias that was uncovered by an IBM study of the Booker Prize earlier this year. I'm going to put that article in the description box, and all other articles are referred to in the description box down below. This was a study done by IBM of the Booker Prize that was released earlier this year. And it discovered a strong bias towards positive male characters who are often described as wealthy, powerful doctors, professors who are in control, and negative female stereotypes. They are described as beautiful, pretty, teachers, whores, maids, and secretaries, often seeking help. The article goes more into depth, but it makes you question if certain formulas work as award bait to the exclusion of more progressive works. Another reason I don't trust big book awards is because they exclude small publishers through their rules and their fees. So, for example, the Giller Prize requires a $1,500 fee for submitting books for consideration, which limits how many books small and independent publishers can submit. Notice that I said this is for submission, so it's not guaranteed that these books are going to make long or short list. This is a real shame, because in my personal experience, the small publishers in Canada are releasing the best works. The Man Booker also limits submissions from small publishers through shifty rules. So, for example, one of the conditions for submission is that the book must be printed in the UK. Less well advertised is that the publishers must also have an office in the UK and pay taxes there, which a lot of small publishers cannot afford to do, thus eliminating them from participating in this award. Julian Barnes has criticized the Booker specifically, and book awards generally, in an article which I'll post down below, arguing that awards are rewarded more on the marketability of a book rather than good writing. Direct quote is, "The Booker is increasingly an affair of the book trade than a pointer to the state of fiction." Barnes is not alone in this criticism. Evelyn Conlon has also commented on the effects of awards on hurting small publishers and the result of narrowing the reading experiences for readers. I'll direct quote here, "Leaving aside the fact that yes, a prize listing has become the new black, think for a moment what multinational publishing company has control over, or what is even allowed to be entered. Never mind, make it for consideration. Of course, the occasional maverick gets through, the occasional voice that adds a special light to the way you fit yourself in the world, but surely we must be suspicious of the narrowing consensus of what makes a good work, suspicious of those who decide talent on marketability and on how palatable we can make a real story." Another reason I don't trust book awards is because I find they don't align with my personal tastes. The Giller Prize was awarded to one of the worst books I have ever read. I'll leave it nameless. If you've watched any of my videos, you probably know which book that is. Lev Grossman also commented on the lack of talent out in an award winner, saying, "It bothers me to see great work neglected, but it bothers me almost as much to see mediocre books overpraised." And to be honest, if people don't agree with my opinion on what makes a book good, then it must follow logically that they are stupid, and they must be wrong about what makes a good book. I'm going to leave you with this one last story that calls into question the longevity of prize winners. This is a story told by Mona Simpson, where she came across a shelf of Pulitzer Prize winners from the 1920s. And not only was there no Great Gatsby, there was no Farewell to Arms, but she actually didn't recognize any of the titles. So read your award winners if you want, but I'm going to give them a hard pass. Thank you for watching.